Okay, so you got to come to Spain just for the churros.
All the layers of history that you can find here, it just blows me away every time.
That's a wrap.
Hi, I'm Justine.
And I'm Daryl.
And we're the Breakaway Bravehearts. And today we're in busy Madrid. In this video, we're going to wrap up 2 months in Spain in the off-season. We're going to share with you today everything we've learned along the way. Off-season travel is really important to us because it helps spread the load of over-tourism and make sure that the economic impact and the environmental impact can be better managed. So why travel Spain in the off-season?
Well, for one, there's definitely a lot less traffic on the roads and traffic on the pathways, even to the point that we get a castle to ourselves.
You're not standing in crowds, you're not waiting in queues. You can spend more time actually enjoying the activities that you choose. And there's just a more relaxed vibe and feel. You get to connect more with the locals around you. They can spend more time with you and you can spend more time in engaging with the country and the culture.
And if you're budget conscious, then obviously you can save yourself a few pennies too.
People often worry about the weather in the off-season, but we haven't had any issues.
So today we're nearly near to November and we are at 19 degrees.
There's been days when t-shirts has been fine and I've been wearing my sunglasses most days as well. Occasionally we might need our jackets in the morning and the afternoon, but overall very comfortable with the weather. Travelling in the off-season is a great way to help spread the load, especially for those cities that can become quite overcrowded. So we're in Madrid today and it's mid-November. It's a little bit chilly and it's pretty crowded. But a highlight for us in Madrid was actually the Casa de Mexico, which is a little bit off the beaten path. And they have exhibitions running right throughout the whole year. But we were lucky enough to be here on the last day of their Day of the Dead exhibition, which is a fabulous display of culture and art. Toledo was another place we visited just recently, and it also was still a little bit crowded, but obviously nowhere as near as it would be during the height of the season.
I have to say Toledo had some surprising things to offer. It wasn't just the old city, but outside of the city, it'd be amazing what you can stumble upon. I was kind of blown away by the Roman circus and how they were just, the structures were just left in the park. So I really like that, the fact that you can get really up close and personal with it all.
And I enjoyed the Visigoth Museum because we got to see all those layers of history and culture in one place. That's what Toledo is known for, of course, is its rich mix of religion and culture, and you can see it all merged together. And the Visigoth Museum was quiet, it was free entry, and you could see all those different layers of history in one place. Cartagena, again, not so busy as it normally is, but we did happen to be there on a day when a cruise ship was in, so in the morning, in the central part, it was crowded.
However, we did get to see the Punica Muralla. See, I'm saying it wrong again, but we knew that would happen, and that was, you know, simply left to ourselves. That was fantastic, and that's the benefits of off-season.
And one of the things we loved about Cartagena was just wandering around through the streets. We quite often get lost, which we don't always see that as a disadvantage because we stumble across things we wouldn't normally see. And in Cartagena, it was full of archaeological sites that are literally in the process of being uncovered. And that was really wonderful to see.
I mean, she says we get lost, but actually it's more of an adventure. Wait a minute.
It looks like you've left the route, so we'll reroute you.
What a
Head south
surprise.
on Calle del Baluart.
It's nothing to do with getting lost, really.
It's nothing to do with the fact that you can't read a map.
No, absolutely not. And I don't always just, you know, believe everything that Google Maps tells me.
Actually, we'll come to that in the tips and tricks.
Good point.
But of course, if you really want to help out tourism and spread it further, then we suggest going to the smaller towns, the lesser known places, and we want to talk you through a few hidden gems.
Yes, we did find a few hidden gems, gems, not gyms, gems. Start
Is that
again.
you making fun of my accent again? First one is Guadamar. This is a really great alternative to Torrevieja or Alicante. And we actually spent the day in Torrevieja and then the next day in Guadamar. The weather was exactly the same. The beach in Torrevieja was packed. The beach in Guadamar was absolutely empty.
Guadamar is looking for more tourism.
And it has an amazing wealth of history.
Out of the two, most definitely choose Guadamar. It's got a lot more to offer.
There was just a peaceful, natural feel about Guadamar that I didn't get in Torrevieja. Many countries in Spain, you will have heard or seen in the media, have kind of had enough of tourism, of over-tourism. They're feeling the impact in a negative way. But Guadamar is one of those places that wants you to come. They've put a lot of effort into making sure that you feel welcome.
And the menu at Del Diaz, the prices are very good at the moment, so get in there now.
Another place we recommend is Lorca, and Lorca Castle in particular, full of history and so welcoming, very quiet and a huge space that we got to enjoy. There was a lot to learn, and so in our video on Lorca, we've actually gone through the history of Spain in a little bit more detail. So if you're interested in that, check out the link above and it will talk you through all those different periods.
Pasen aquí, pasen, entren. Pueden entrar hasta el fondo, ¿eh?
Totana again was a great experience.
We were lucky enough to have a tour of Totana, and even though it was in Spanish, that was wonderful because we got the authentic words of the locals.
Agujero de 1,5 metros, 2 metros de profundidad y enterran al difunto de diversas maneras. Ya lo iremos viendo en el yacimiento.
And Pedro was just pretty awesome. He was just so informative, and you got to learn, as I say, a great deal about that place. And that's what it's about.
So while we've been here, we've had lots of really unique experiences.
Tell you, my highlight would have been actually having a full castle to myself and having the person at the tourist office open the door for us and allow us to walk in. So we're going to be the only ones in here?
Yeah, just for you.
Wow, that's amazing.
And he closed the door behind us, didn't he? And I was like, oh my God, are we just locked inside a castle?
Yeah, that's right. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. So you see, this is the benefits of coming off season, because we literally have the castle to ourselves.
In the off season, you are going to get variable weather, and so it pays to be prepared. Expect it to be unpredictable. We were here at the time that Storm Dana hit Valencia, and we were in Valencia around that time. But luckily for us, because we had that foresight and that extreme weather warning, we were able to get out before it hit, which meant not only were we safe, but we weren't inconveniencing the locals as they tried to clean up.
So I know our first go-to is always Google. You've got to always read the small print. Google actually does state sometimes that it doesn't have the updated information. And especially we've encountered this in the off-season, there definitely is a reduction in the public transport systems.
So at the moment we're at the bus stop on our second go. Yesterday it just didn't work because Google Maps told us that the bus stop was in a different place. The bus never arrived. The timetables on Google Maps are also very different to what they are over here. So we're not 100% sure if we're in the right place, if we've got the right time, if we're going to the right place. Who knows?
Try and get used to speaking to locals or going onto local sites to be able to get the updates that you need rather than fully relying on Google. It's got us into trouble a few times.
Part of our preparation is always having a few key things in our backpacks. One are tissues.
A lot of the time, off season, there's less staffing in certain areas. You might find, silly little thing, but less toilet paper in the toilet, for example.
If you're looking for public toilets, carry a pack of tissues with you always. We also always have high-vis vests in our backpack, which sounds a little unusual, but because it gets dark fairly early in the off-season, and we normally take public transport, which can sometimes be a little bit difficult on weekends or off-season times, you may find yourself walking home in the dark. And if you're staying slightly in smaller towns or outside of the big city areas, you may find yourself on roads that don't have lighting or public footpaths. Your high-vis vests will really be welcome to you then.
The other thing that we would pack is most definitely have some water with us at all times in some nice sustainable bottles.
Staying hydrated.
It's a very good idea.
Went down the wrong way. Actually did.
I don't want to find any more bones here, babe.
That's really yummy because it's like crunchy on the outside, the soft and gooey on
Gooey
the
in the inside, right?
and it's got like that deep fried kind of flavour. But then you've got the hot chocolate as well, which isn't too sweet.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's very Moorish.
Very Moorish.
So you only bought the one packet, then, is what you're saying?
Yes, but it's to share, darling.
Oh,
To share. Okay, so you got to come to Spain just for the churros.
but obviously we have had a lot of good food in Spain. It's what it's known for. And most definitely I would have to say my favourites are the tapas. Good quality food for good prices and just that enjoyable vibe.
And it's just beautiful. Everything that you seem to get is it's like home cooked and tastes like it's been come from the heart. I mean, the flavours that you find in some of the foods are just amazing. Yeah, I know you've got your favourites.
I like my Iberica jamon and manchego cheese, and I've become very comfortable with having wine with my lunch.
She also likes her albondigas.
And we're now experts in finding Menú del Dia. We like to go outside of the touristy areas into the back streets where you're likely to find better value for money. Yummy?
It's a great start.
You'll get a choice of a starter dish, you'll get a choice of a main, you'll get bread, probably a side salad as well, and of course you'll get either a dessert or a coffee, and you'll get the drink. You could expect to pay around about 11, 12 euros when you go out of the touristy areas.
And staying out of cities.
If you're going into a city, into the more touristy areas, you're looking at around about 15 euros at least.
That's 2024.
And we've had quite some interesting discoveries in our Menú del Dia.
Might work out what that is now. Yeah, you might not know what it is, but it's delicious. So we could go on about what lovely food there is here, but the fact is, it is part of the culture. It tastes like part of the culture. It's definitely one big reason to come to Spain.
So this is our final sign-off from Spain, and I want to thank everyone that's welcomed us here and everyone that's joined us in our videos along the way. We will be back in Europe again. We'll be here in mid-March, and we're going to do the north of Spain and then head up through France. In the meantime, we are super excited to be going to Vietnam
And Cambodia.
and we really hope that you'll join us there. Until then, happy travels everyone.